In this first episode of Project Springtime, I wanted to cover community. So who is this for? And I think the answer is in two parts, just like the name. Springtime. In multiple apparitions, but then primarily in Fatima, Our Lady promises a springtime for the Catholic Church, and then a period of peace for the whole world. And so in that respect, Project Springtime is for everyone. And I do believe that it has already taken place in this year of 2021. I can't tell you how many people I've met that have expressed such a longing, have been hoping, praying that at some point in their lives this would take place. The second part, Project, just recognizes that springtime isn't just something that's going to happen passively either. It's something that we get to be a part of. But how exactly is that going to be manifest? And so that's something we're going to continue to unpack in this series. So what I'd like to cover are three things in this particular episode. And I was trying to explain them recently to someone, and he kept asking me to take a step back. He's like, hold up a little bit. Even my experience of the Catholic faith is a little bit limited. So we'll try our best to take it slow. First are households, festivals of praise, and then conferences. So if you recognize these three things, it's probably because you are a graduate of the Franciscan University of Steubenville in Ohio. The experience of the faith there is so dynamic and transformative. And I think that experience is not something is meant to be limited to the campus and campus life, but it can be successfully implemented and introduced into the parish. Now, I know there are many graduates out there all throughout the United States, but then also throughout the world. And so this is an appeal to you guys. Households. It's a concept developed by Father Michael Scanlon. He recently passed away January 7th of 2017. That was actually my last year as a student. But households are like sororities or fraternities centered around a spiritual charism or theme, a unique identifier, and everyone kind of lives together and grows and tries to live that charism out. So that's household in a nutshell. Then we have festivals of praise. These were monthly events which were in two parts. So the first part was a speaker would come, sometimes preach fire and brimstone centered around a specific gospel passage, something relevant to the lives of the students. And then the second part was, when it happened, the best ones were the ones that did have it, Eucharistic adoration. And so you have this twofold structure which kind of parallels the liturgy, which the Eucharistic liturgy, the Mass, which also has a two-part structure, table of the Word and table of the Eucharist, but it's not the liturgy either. Then we have conferences. So the experience of the Steubenville conferences for many youth are summer, you could almost say, retreats. Groups of students will go, and for one event, they encounter Christ, maybe for the very first time in their lives. So those are our three parts. Households. Just to speak from my own experience a little bit, I was in Living Stones and then Koinonia. This was a priestly discernment program. And so in broad brushstrokes, after graduating, going into seminary for a year, discerning out, but then becoming an associate director of music at a parish here in Buffalo, because I discerned out, all of a sudden I had this lack of what I had before, that identity, that sense of community. And then working for the parish, I had the opportunity to kind of introduce that, but in a new way. So it was a new charism, a new theme, and to see if that was possible. And it's really cool to see that it was possible. So we started something called Fiat in 2020, January, and then we're going into 2022 and continuing a monthly event, a monthly Eucharistic conference. So that is household, and then kind of how it transfers over, charism. Then we have the Festival of Praise. So we call it a Eucharistic conference instead, and it's also about an hour and a half to 2 hour block section, which is also made up of a two-part structure. And so it's been a successful way to implement it into the parish, but there are unique differences which we'll be able to go into in further episodes. And then as far as conferences go, one of the problems, or one of the ways that introducing this into a parish throughout the year on a monthly basis, one of the strengths of that is that many youth go to a conference and just have a single experience and then have a hard time living it out as they go back home throughout the year. And so this gives them an opportunity to kind of experience that same type of prayer. One of the most impactful parts of it being in Eucharistic adoration, not just placing the monstrance on the altar in a static fashion, but having a Eucharistic procession where the Eucharist is brought to them. And so a dynamic encounter with Christ. And there is huge grace in that. And it's been really wonderful to hear from people how powerful of an experience that is. So I hope this was helpful for you and a little bit of an adequate explanation of some of these really, really important pieces of what we're trying to bring into a new setting from the campus and then into a parish.